a business coach, and I am trying to help mostly in the healthcare area and even in healthcare specializing in physical therapy. That's what I'm trying to do, is let people know there is a way that you can stay in the profession. We have a mass exodus of really quality human beings that are just leaving because they're just so burnt.
Hey, it's your host, Michael Dargie. I interview a lot of people on the show, but since 2006, my creative agency has been helping artists, entrepreneurs, and businesses like yours find, shape, and share your story so everyone gets it. In April 2025, my first book is being released that goes through the method I use called Branjitsu. No, there's no fighting. It's not that kind of jitsu, but there is a really great and cheesy metaphor. Visit branjitsu.com, join the list for my book, Branjitsu, Move Your Brand from Meh to Memorable. This week, I sit down with Michael J. Silva, a former physical therapist who's now on a mission to save his profession. Discover how Silva transitioned from corporate healthcare to coaching physical therapists on how to build sustainable, joy-filled practices. Please welcome Michael J. Silva to the Rebel Rebel. Welcome to the Rebel Rebel. I'm your host, Michael Dargie, and somewhere across the world, I have no idea where, I can't wait to find out, I've got Michael Silva. That's right, two Michaels in one show. You're
Boom.
Welcome. Yeah.
Hey, Michael, how are you?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm awesome.
Yeah, you are.
At least I think so.
But so catch us up and just sort of like, where is Michael Silva located? Again, we don't need your geolocation precisely,
Right.
but ish.
I'm in a land far, far away from you in this tiny little village called Rhode Island. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I have heard of it. I've never been.
Yeah. Have you been?
I have never been. No.
Oh,
I would
need
love
to come.
to.
Yeah, it's the ocean state. It's beautiful, especially this
Yeah.
time of year. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you're like, Atlantic is so beautiful this time of year.
Oh, yeah, it's great. Yeah, so that's where I hail. Originally from Massachusetts, been living in Rhode Island since I got married-ish, like since 2000. So I guess I'm a Rhode Islander now.
What are the key traits of a Rhode Islander?
Well, first off, I can't be official Rhode Islander because I do use my R's. So us Northeasterners, we're wicked awesome. We sometimes forget to park a car,
I thought that was just Boston.
Nah, it happens down here too.
Oh,
There's a slightly different twang to it, but yeah, it's a similar dialect. So what makes us a Rhode Islander? You have to complain about driving more than 10 minutes because Rhode Island's so small, you can get to anything you ever want in like 5.
Wow.
So if you drive more than 10 minutes, you need to like bitch about it. That's a Rhode Island thing.
Nice.
Yeah. And you need to eat stuffies. Do you know what stuffies are?
I feel like those are what England would call pasties. Is that like? No, I don't know what stuffies are.
Good. I'm glad you didn't ask me because I don't know what a pasty is.
Well, we're about to find out.
Yeah. So stuffies, it's a giant clam, a quahog, that they take out all the meat, they mix it in with like this bread stuffing, and then they put it back in a shell and then they cook it in the oven, and it's delicious.
Wow, that is 100% not even close to a pasty.
No, okay, yeah, it's a stuffy, man. They're a little lemon and hot sauce, and eating that in a little clam shack on the water in Rhode Island. That's a summer right there.
Oh no, I heard it in the water.
In the water.
Yeah, a little clam shack in the water. Yeah,
in the water. See, I can't. No matter how hard I try, I can't get it out.
So, Michael, tell us what it is that what do you do? What's your day to day?
What's my day to day? All right. Yeah. Besides trying to take care of my aging body and stay as mobile and healthy as I can, and I'm 51. I've launched a second career, and I am a business coach, and I am trying to help mostly in the healthcare area, and even in healthcare, specializing in physical therapy. That was my whole profession. But I'm trying to help passionate PTs start and grow their own practice to save our profession is what I'm trying to do.
Oh, dude, what a rallying cry.
Right?
I love it.
I don't know if you know much about the PT profession, but some people think we're a giant dumpster fire.
I don't know. I mean, I use, when I can, like we're talking physical therapy, not personal trainer.
Correct. Yeah.
So like my body's broken and busted up from years of doing awful things to it. So,
but we don't like that language, Michael. Your body has room for improvement in areas of opportunity is how we like to look at it.
Okay. All right. Clearly you have not seen the state of my toes.
Jeez. You want to put them on camera? We'll take a look.
No, I don't think so. I'm not without getting paid. I have a passing understanding of physical therapy and what it is that you do. And I do know that there's good ones and bad ones. So
Right.
I'm curious.
Yeah, so I mean that's like with anything. There's good ones and bad ones, right? But what's happening, especially since the pandemic, the healthcare in general, like people are feeling the burden of caring for other humans and dealing with insurance companies and cutting well, especially I'll talk as a PT. I'm not a nurse or any of the frontline workers, but we're seeing declining reimbursement, increased demands on paperwork, and fiery hoops to jump through to get paid. We're trying to demonstrate the value, and we keep people out of surgery, we keep people off drugs, but we're getting less and less payment all the time. We got kids coming out of school with just under $500,000 in school debt, some of them, and they're starting their careers off making $70,000 a year with the term doctor in front of their name.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy. So there's like this squeeze where they're demanding more of us on the administrative level, and reimbursements getting cut. The
Yeah.
schooling demand got higher, so the cost of the schooling got higher. It's hard to pay therapists the true value when, let's say with me, when I ran my business, I was getting reimbursed a certain amount. I
Yeah.
wanted to pay people well, but I also couldn't lose money in a career. So that's kind of the
Yeah.
squeeze people are in. I mean, that's like a small percentage of it. I mean, there's many successful practices out there, but that's what I'm trying to do is let people know there is a way that you can stay in the profession.
Yeah.
We have a mass exodus of really quality human beings that are just leaving. They're going off to do sales or make lattes at a coffee shop. They're just doing something different because they're just so burnt.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's
Well,
sad because we do a lot of good for people, and and I think without us, the healthcare costs are going to continue to go higher. So, in my little way, I'm trying to keep people in it and do right by humanity.
oh man, I love that. It's really cool. Like I get to meet and talk with a lot of different people, and I certainly see a lot of business coaches come across. I come across them in my travels, and sometimes we talk, sometimes we don't. But you are the first business coach I've met that is dealing directly with healthcare stuff, and I think that that's really cool. And because I have family that are doctors, and I know how the admin is such a nightmare, and like just all the different machinations that go into helping people live better lives
Right,
or
right,
longer lives or a life, they,
right.
they need
Yeah,
that support. So yay,
it's a,
Michael.
well, I'm trying, man. It's there's a lot of us out there, and even the bigger corporations who some of us feel are destroying our profession. They're trying to do good things. I really hope deep down inside they're trying to do good things. But
Yeah,
when you're owned by a venture capital group who thrives on profits and bottom line, and they're going to cut costs and demand more efficiency, something has to give. And unfortunately, in a service based business like physical therapy, what's going to give is the quality of care or the value you're going to deliver.
sure.
So
Wow.
it's not a great model. Um, so that's my mission. That's what keeps my hair gray, and that's what keeps me up at night.
Yeah. Well, sir, you have fabulous hair. I'm just going to say that right now.
Well, thank you. It used to be dark, I think, but it's all right. It's there.
Tell me, let's go. Let's do a little bit of time travel and go back
Sure.
in time to a young Michael. I don't know what age this would have happened for you, um, but even as a in the medical field, did you always want to help people, or did you once upon a time want to be a treasure hunter? I don't know.
It's funny you ask. So, when I was in high school, I don't know, I don't think we're too much different in age, but there was
I'm a
no
little
internet.
older, just a little
All
bit.
right. Well, there wasn't internet and access to figuring out what you wanted to do and be able to see the world of opportunity in front of you. So we used to have these little tests that my guidance counselor in high school would sit at the old computer, the Commodore 64 or whatever it
Yeah,
was,
I
right?
know it well. Or
And
the Amiga.
right. And you'd answer these questions like, tick, do you like talking to people? Tick, do you like doing this? Tick. My number one job was a disc jockey.
What? That's
That's what I
awesome.
said. Yeah, I thought so, but my mother, who just happened to be my guidance counselor at my high school, was like, "No, no, 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 no. We don't. That's not a way to make a living."
Wow, thanks, mom.
Yeah, right. So, and I didn't know, and like most physical therapists, I had an injury. I was a 3-sport athlete in high school. dislocated my knee, spent a couple weeks in therapy, and I was able to get back to my football season, didn't miss a game. And I'm like, you know what? This is kind of cool. Like, I loved working out. I
Mm-hmm.
love talking.
Yeah.
I like wearing wind pants and golf shirts versus suits and ties. So I'm like, these guys just hang out in like workout gear in like a gym setting, helping people. I'm like, that's kind of pretty cool.
That's great.
So that started me down that path. I was not a great high school student, so I didn't get into PT school out of high school. Now, instead of keeping a clear head, I decided to go to school as a pharmacy major because I got into the pharmacy program.
Right.
But there's one thing I really didn't consider. I hope I can swear, but I fucking hate chemistry. And it was like 5 years of chemistry.
What have I done?
Literally. It was like day 2. I was like, what did I just do to my life? Like, what am I doing?
No.
So then I figured out, all right, I can't do this. This was a mistake. But I got in the backdoor route and I ended up switching over to the exercise science department, got a bachelor's degree in exercise science, then got into physical therapy. So that's kind of how it all began.
Wow.
The disc jockey thing got tossed aside early on, took that route. And then every year my grades got better and better because getting into PT school is not easy. It's really difficult. It's been,
Yeah.
even now it's even more challenging, but it's hard to get in. You need to have good grades. You need to have experience, and you need to volunteer. You need to interview well. You need to do all these things. And um, I finally got in and was really thankful and grateful because that led me into, getting into a good career. And that I almost left 2 years into it because I hated it again. I'm like, well, saying this out loud, I'm all over the place, right?
Yeah.
But no,
Well, yeah, but why did you hate it? Just a quick side note.
yeah. So, and I didn't, and what I realized through, and I was married at the time, and my wife was also a PT. We had a long talk. It's not that I hated it, but I didn't like. I was working for a really big company who they targeted a clientele that I didn't really enjoy working with. So I was showing up with really unmotivated clients on a daily basis.
Wow,
None
that's
of them
rough.
had an incentive to get better. Most of them were getting paid to stay home for many different reasons. They didn't want to, so I had to play this game. It was awful. Like everything I wanted to do and motivate and improve humans was like not coming to fruition. So I was depressed about it. So that's when I decided to start my own business. Instead of leaving, I was like, screw this. I like doing this. I just need to do it my way. So, like Frank Sinatra said, I did it my way.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Holy crap. What do you attribute this ability to just do your own thing? Because it's not common. In my, I mean, the people that I talk to, it is common, but out in the real world, it's not a common trait at all. Most people
Right.
don't.
Well, I think first off, I had a really supportive partner. My wife was like, "You can do it. Let's do it. Like, I got your back." And we were, when I made the decision to do it, I was 30. Um, I just turned 30. It was May of 2003. I had started doing some like side hustle. I didn't even know what that term was back then, but I was starting to do some things on the side. But at May of 2003, we officially became a business. I had my first child and I turned 30 all in the same month.
Wow,
So I was
that's a
like,
big month.
shit, like if I don't grow up now, man, like there's no turning back.
Yeah.
But I did it because one, I had the support of my wife, which was really helpful. But two, I didn't see, it was almost like the pain that I would put myself through by like starting a new career, doing something totally different that I didn't really know what even that was more scary than starting the business. And I just said, screw it, let's just do it.
Amazing.
So I started. Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And it worked out.
Yeah, clearly. So let's sort of fast forward a little bit here. So here you are now. You've left your practice,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're helping other people navigate these waters
Right.
and be better and perhaps find more joy in what they do,
Right.
and answer the call that they have. Um, Clearly was inside of them to answer in the first place, but under the pressure cooker of real life, when you're actually doing it, how can they do it better? How can they make it work for them?
Right.
So and I guess maybe take me through that thought process.
So the question was, how am I doing that with my clients now. I'm sorry, I got lost in
Yeah,
your
no,
story
sorry,
there.
I drifted off all different directions.
But also, I just saw some of the ink on your arm when you were moving your arm around, and I was admiring your tattoo there.
Oh, thanks. Yeah,
Yeah, I like it.
there's lots there.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Got a lot
I
going
got a
on.
little, I got a little distracted with your gun, so.
Well, thanks. Appreciate that. Yeah, so the question was leaving your practice to start a coaching thing to help other people.
Right.
Let's just talk about the motivation there, where you just and I'm sorry if you've already answered this in one way or another, but were you just done with the physical therapy side of it?
Yeah, so I'm going to get to the first part of that question second, but
Yeah.
I'm going to address the second part first. I think
Yeah, perfect.
for the way my silly brain works, it's going to be better. But so when I started the business, I had no idea what the future held. I just did it, and we grew. And in during the pandemic, that was a shit show for all of us. But trying to keep a private practice open, that was a struggle. And I was already thinking about, okay, what's my next move going to be? I was about 17 years into owning the business and running it, and at that point, I had 3 offices. I was about to open my fourth.
Wow.
I had, depending on the time of year, upwards of like 24, 25 employees. And it was great. It was keeping me busy. At that point, after like building the business, I actually started enjoying some free time as a business owner, and I didn't work Fridays for many years and
What?
traveled a little more. Yeah, so things were going well, but I
Yeah.
just, something, maybe it's some sort of, maybe I'm on a low spectrum of ADD or something. I'm not sure, but I was like, "Oh, I got to do something different." I think I had maxed out clinically. Like I was a good clinician. I did everything I wanted to clinically. I ran a good business. And then during COVID, the opportunity to sell a business was really good.
Mm.
Like with the PT world, the multiples of what they were evaluating businesses were as high as I've ever seen.
Wow.
So I was like, huh. So I talked to my wife. I'm like, I don't know what's next, but we could exit, put a little in the bank, and more than we ever would have, maybe ever again. I don't know how long this is going to last. Um, so it was a combination of me emotionally really needing to do something else, and then financially, I think it was a good move for me and the family to kind of cash out at that point.
Yeah.
So I did, and there's a few other. There might have to be another podcast. A few other emotional things going on that I just needed to deal with. But
Yeah. Yeah.
so I did that, and then the deal was I actually was part of the company that bought me for a while. So I became now this passionate private practice owner, and now became part of a corporate healthcare. And I went in thinking I'm gonna improve the quality of care of corporate medicine by you know I'm gonna change it. And I'm not bashing the company. They're trying to do really good things on a much larger scale,
Yeah.
but it was just not for me. Corporate healthcare. I almost left the world of PT, and I started my business because I didn't want to be part of corporate
Right.
healthcare. And now I find myself back in it. But fortunately, that whole process, which is painful, just going through a sale of a business is a painful experience, but they were great. I got good value for my business, but the process was as painless as you can make it. And they're trying to do good things. And I was able to walk away and exit in a amicable way. And I wish them the best, but it just wasn't for me. So took some time off, and unfortunately, I lost my dad and my sister within like the same year, right
Oh my
around that
God.
time. Yeah,
Sorry
that
about
was tough. But fortunately, I had the time. I was there, like I was there for my mother, who just lost her husband and her daughter within like a year or so of each
that.
other. Yeah. So anyway, I think the universe put me in this position to be there for my family, and I had a hard time with it. So
Yeah.
I think it happened for a reason. And then just rethinking, and then thinking about that whole process. Like I was in PT, I hated it. I started my private practice and I loved it and built an amazing life, took care of my family. Like we never, all our needs were met. We had a great life. I'm like, I just need to do this for other people, because everyone's leaving thinking that they have to suffer and work for a giant corporation and
Right.
just be a number and grind and not enjoy and not work with the people they want. So I'm
Oh.
like, you know what? I think maybe I'll do that. And my wife, again, my biggest supporter, she's like, you need to be a consultant and a coach. Like, you've been doing this way too long. You need to help people. There's people that need you. I'm like, what am I going to teach them? I had like imposter syndrome. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. Yeah. I was just like, what are they going to pay me for? And then I got a few clients under my belt, and they were very validating. And I realized, wow, I guess I can bring some value. This can be my encore career, and I can continue to still serve people and like help them serve their clients better, so I can do what I did with my practice on a larger scale by helping the owners and the leaders. And I really enjoy it. Like I really, really do. And that's where I'm at. So that's what I'm trying to do. Did
Dude.
I answer the question? Or did I just go off
Yeah,
on my own
no,
little
you
tangent?
crushed it. What is Jay? What's your middle name?
So I don't have a middle name.
Okay, then what is
Right. So the
michaelsilva.com? What's the
J,
J?
I needed a middle name. So I was brought up strict Catholic and went to a Catholic high school. So when I got confirmed, my confirmation name is James, that I just inherited as my middle name.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Jesus.
No, I tried to make it Jordan because I was a huge Michael Jordan fan.
Yeah.
And even though I was going through the whole confirmation thing through the church, and they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, you can't use Jordan. Like that's just not going to cut it.
Oh,
Because I would have been Michael Jordan Silva. How cool would
right.
that have been?
Totally.
Because I was like just as good as he was on the court. So I
That's what
could
I've
see.
heard.
You heard that, right?
Yeah, all the way up
Yeah.
here in Canada.
But anyway, yeah. So it's James.
Very
That's
nice.
yeah.
And that was just a really sneaky way for me to get your website out there while you're talking about your passion. michaeljsilva.com. You should go check it out. And it is a 100% shameless but purposeful plug, because I
I
love
appreciate it.
good
Thank you.
people doing good things.
Yeah, thank you. I like that.
Yeah. So okay, let's pivot. Talk to me about Rhode Island. Tell me how Rhode Island is the best place in the world to live and raise a family and to eat stuffies. Like,
All right. So
unpack as you will.
here's the great thing about Rhode Island. It's really small, right?
Mhm.
I'll tell you all that I love about it. Well, I'm gonna tell you what I don't like about it first off.
Sure.
There's like this politically, and as a small business owner, they could be better supporting the small business owner.
Okay.
And taxes are super high. I mean, everything is everywhere, but that's the only negative thing. Here's what I love about Rhode Island, especially as a business owner. Rhode Island is so small, and I call it the incestuous nature of Rhode Islanders, that everyone knows everyone,
Yeah.
right? But so I like at first I was kind of annoyed by when I moved in. Like people knew me before I thought they should know me, right?
Right.
But as a business owner, and we did right by people. Like I really put the client first all the time. We were good at what we did. I hired good people. We had an amazing practice and served different communities in Rhode Island and in Massachusetts. And because of that incestuous nature of Rhode Islanders and the fact that we were good people and we had a good business, they built it for me.
Love that.
They told their friend, their neighbor, so that's one thing I love about Rhode Island too. That it's just freaking beautiful here. Like the winters are tough, but winters, you're in Canada.
Yeah.
But besides that, like we're surrounded by water. Like there's beaches everywhere. And little known fact is the food in Rhode Island is freaking amazing.
Love it.
I've had people who have lived all the parts of the world, and they say per square mile that Rhode Island is up there with like New York City, San Fran,
Wow.
and other big cities. Oh yeah, because Johnson and Wales is a really well-known culinary school, and they were started and based in Rhode Island. So we get a lot of people that still come here, and then they fall in love with the America's little state and the beaches, and so they stay and they open up these restaurants, and it's just awesome. Yeah.
Oh.
So you got to come down and visit.
Yes, sir.
And then we'll do a little tour of Rhode Island. We'll make a podcast out of it, and we'll try some restaurants.
Yeah.
We'll hit a beach.
Okay.
We'll hit Newport and go walk the cliffs and look at the mansions. It'll be beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, I'm in.
All right,
outstanding. Cool. What's your favorite sport to play?
Wow. At my current age and physical abilities?
Like right now.
Wow. So, unfortunately, the only competitive sport I play right now is golf.
Okay.
And I only do that very little. But working out is my thing. Like I'm on a bike, I'm walking, running, hiking, exercising in the gym, outside. Like that's my jam, and trying to keep my body together.
Yeah.
But if you would ask me that 9 years ago, it's like basketball. Love
Of
basketball.
course,
Loved him.
because we know you were just as good as Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I actually taught him everything. All his dunks, like those were mine.
Who says white men can't jump?
Dude, right? So, all right, I'm gonna brag about something right there because you brought the topic up.
Yeah, do it.
There was one point in my life where I actually dunked a basketball, a
What?
real basketball, on an official 10-foot hoop. I was in the best shape of my life.
I was going to say,
Stars were aligned.
what's your vertical?
I don't know what it was. I didn't measure it, but
Oh my
I mean,
God.
I have these skinny little white legs, but they worked. I was a sprinter, you know. And for whatever, I think the gravitational pull at that moment in time
Yeah.
versus the alignment of the stars and the planets,
Yeah.
everything was perfect. And I did it, and I could not believe I did it, and I never did it again.
Wow, though I would hold on to that for the rest of my life.
Don't tell my wife. It was one of the best days of my life.
I'm sure she knows.
Right.
Oh, dude,
but yeah,
that's
so
incredible. How tall are you?
I am 5'10.5".
And you dunked a ball.
I did.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one other
stars definitely aligned.
right, but there was one other time when I was playing. It was my senior year in high school, and I remember just making this move and going up for a layup. And I can still visualize it this day. I remember the sneakers I had on and everything, and my hand I don't know if people are going to see this, but my fingers were like right over the rim as I was laying it onto the backboard. And I went, "Did I just get that high? Like I didn't know I could do that." And then I did it a year later officially, and then never did it again. Now I could barely jump to change a light bulb, but that's okay.
Yeah. I mean,
What about you? What's your sport?
that's a great question. Oh man, so many things. Like it's not really a sport because I don't do it on a track, but I ride motorcycles.
Oh, nice.
That's my thing. I love scuba diving.
Really?
Yeah. I run.
My son he's living in Jamaica temporarily right now. He's an international certified deep sea diver.
Oh my God, that's terrifying.
It is terrifying. And I'm not anything.
Yeah.
I'm claustrophobic. I don't like to swim.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
wild.
yeah.
I love scuba diving, but my adventure diving days are well past me. I just put me at lukewarm water,
Right.
30 feet, 50 feet max.
That's deep.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not that deep. Like I've been down sub 100, like 100, 110.
Wow.
And that's terrifying. Like it's
Yeah,
just
there's a lot of physics involved with getting you back up safely.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't like that. It's
No,
not.
no.
Yeah. Oh, so
That's
a deep diver. Hey, holy crap.
Oh yeah, it's insane. He sends us videos of stuff he's doing and how deep he's been, and it's like pitch dark down there, and they're lighting up. Yeah, he's in Jamaica helping repair some big company that mines something, and there was hurricane damage.
Oh wow.
And this company's losing like a shit ton of money a day because there's this giant conveyor belt that goes to the bottom of the ocean that's not working anymore. So he and his teams, he's part of the team. He's the youngest one there. He's only 21 years old. He just started, but they're down there fixing this giant conveyor belt to start mining stuff from the ocean. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is rad.
Yeah, I would never do that. You got an adventure side: motorcycle, scuba diving, axe throwing,
I have
chainsaw juggling. What else you got?
I got a love-hate relationship with distance running.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was my world, by the way.
Oh, really?
My practice. Yeah. So another shameless plug. My other website is myrunstrong.com. Yeah. So I worked with distance runners my whole career. Like my tagline was my practice was the practice the runner built.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I worked with about 15 professional Olympic caliber world-class athletes from 4 different countries.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to check that out. Cause I find that here's the thing. I'm a lazy, I'm a lazy runner. I'm a lazy warmer upper.
You and every other runner on the face of the earth. Welcome to my world. That's why I sold my practice. I couldn't teach people about warming up properly anymore.
Oh man, like when I was younger, because I grew up in a athletic family, a track and field family, and a distance running family, and
oh, nice.
We would spend half hour, 45 minutes stretching, warming up, like doing all the right things, and then doing the run, and then cooling down and doing it all properly. But now, And I mean, this is just, I don't know, my nature, I guess, is I just like to get to it. I just,
Yeah. Not
I
enough time.
yeah, like just if I'm gonna bang out a 5K in the morning, then I'm just gonna wake up and run 5K and come back and then sit at my desk for
Has
the
that
rest of
gotten
the
harder?
day.
Has that gotten harder as you gotten older to just do that?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
everything hurts. So I was thinking when I talk with Michael, I should ask about yoga.
Yeah, do it, man.
Is that
It's
a good
great.
thing?
Okay, that's awesome.
Nice.
I mean, we don't get more flexible as we age. We only get less flexible. Aging is the great drying out process, right? So
Curing. We're curing ourselves.
we're curing. Yeah. So I do a lot of public speaking, and I had this one slide, and I have to be careful where I use it because there's a lot of vegans in the audience. They won't like it. But I have a picture of a beautiful like raw fillet and a piece of bacon.
Oh god.
Like you start off like this nice shiny oily fillet, and then we end up like bacon. Like somewhere in that transition is that drying out process of aging. So, but yeah, it takes extra work. And when you said something, and I had the same line I used a million times over. I'm like, well, if you don't make time to do the warm up properly now, you're going to make time for an injury later because it's just
Yeah.
a matter of time.
Yeah. So
So
true. So
those
true.
could be my parting words. We'll cut and splice that at the end. That would be the last thing I say.
Well, and so it was fun. Like the last year and a half, I was training to run. Got to back up here. I'm just stumbling all over my words. So we were doing a couple runs, the Oak Bay Half Marathon as a family team. So myself and my sons and my dad. My dad, who's over 80 now,
That's
still
great.
kicks my ass. By the way,
That was awesome.
yeah. And this last, so basically, it's like 5 or 6K each. So it's like a relay for a
Yeah.
half marathon.
Those are fun. Yep.
Yeah, it was super fun. And this last one, I ended up just wrecking my Achilles. Like, I don't know why. Like, just one of those things. Like, I didn't feel it during because I ran 2 legs, so I ran 11, 12K, something like that. But split up, and I guess
Right.
I didn't stay loose and whatever.
Right. Yeah,
And
because most of the time those relays, you sit in a van and drive to the next
right,
part, and you just sit there and rest and get tight and crinkly, and then you go out and
bacon.
right, you turn it to
Oh
bacon.
man, it's the
Yeah.
bacon factor.
You know, we there was a race around here. What was it called? Reach of the Beach. It was a similar. I think it started in New Hampshire and it ended in Rhode Island or Massachusetts. It was long,
Yeah.
and I sponsored a team once. Well, my business sponsored a team, and I can't tell you. And we had so many because we worked with the running population up here, like all over the Northeast.
Yeah.
I had after that Reach the Beach event, I had like 12 people that would on that Monday morning. We had 12 voicemails waiting for people that needed to get in for that exact reason.
And that's why you sponsored the race. Yeah.
That's it.
You got it. Clever. Good business practice.
Yeah.
What's something that you do just for Michael? What's a guilty pleasure?
So you know what? Um, when I was really younger, I was a drummer, and I played a lot of drums in like the middle school marching band, then the middle school jazz band, and then when I got to high school, like I started lifting weights, and then realized the girls liked the athletes more than the musicians back then, and I switched all my passion over to sports. But since I've in the past like 7 years, I've gotten back into drumming, and I got a
Dude.
group of guys that I play with. We've actually, and my son, the diver, is an amazing musician. Like he's performed like all over the Boston, Rhode Island area, and down in Virginia. He's done work. He's done some stuff down there. But just being able to connect with my son through music, and then I got this group of guys, like middle-aged guys. As we get older, we lose connection and friendships.
Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah.
that's a key to aging gracefully and thriving. Like the blue zones. I don't know if we've ever done any
Yeah.
research on the blue zones. The key is keeping up your social connections, and we as men tend to lose them as we get older. So now music is my thing. Like I love it. It's fun. It fills my soul. I use another part of my brain. I get
Oh,
together with some great guys. We have a few beers and play some music. In fact, tomorrow afternoon I'm gonna be jamming.
dadcore. Is what
Yeah.
is what we call it up here.
Wait, the name of the band? So when we started, I called ourselves the MAM Band, MAN, which stands for Middle Aged Men.
I love it.
And then we had a woman that joined us and sang, and so we had to kind of change it. But anyway, we don't
Oh,
we don't really
dude,
play
that's
out
awesome.
at bars, so we don't need a name. But it was fun.
Yeah, that's so
So
great.
that's what I love. That's what I do. It's my
I
guilty
dig it.
pleasure.
Oh
That
man.
and having an IPA while I do it.
I love it. I started. What did I start with? I started of all things in brass band, then went to drums and played
Oh,
drums for a bunch of years, and then
nice.
switched to guitar. But I haven't played like I've got guitars everywhere, and I haven't picked one up probably in 5 years,
You need
which
to.
is a damn shame.
Yeah, it's so good for you.
Yeah, and drumming, man, I just love drumming.
Right. It's fun.
Yeah. Mm.
It's sometimes depending on the musician, they make fun of us percussionists. They don't think we're real musicians. Sometimes I don't think I am either, but I play along some really cool musicians and keep them in tempo and
Right.
slap things with sticks in the rhythmical fashion and have fun doing it.
Yeah.
It's
Nothing
awesome.
wrong with that.
Well, when you come down to Rhode Island for that trip we're planning, and we're going to eat some stuffies, go to the beach, you're going to jam with the bands. You're going to have to put a song
Oh,
or two together.
oh man, I got to get my calluses back. All right.
Get them back, yeah.
All right. All right. All right. Do you have time to read these days?
Not as much as I'd like, but I do some reading. Yes.
Do you have any like book picks, like Oprah's books,
You
Michael Silva's
know,
book pick?
most of them are in. I'm trying to stay, trying to sharpen my sword with what I'm doing as a coach. So a lot of them are in that part of the world as far as the reading. So right now I'm reading the book called The Gold Standard.
Okay.
Do I have it right here? I can't remember the author's name, but it's basically the story about how, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. The Ritz Carlton, how they became known for their amazing customer service and hospitality, and the story on how that started and how that built.
Yeah.
And it's the second time I'm reading it. I read it a while ago and I incorporated a lot of that into my business. I think we were more hospitable and cared more for the experience our clients went through than any practice that I know, which I think was part of our success. So I'm brushing up on that. And that's a lot of the coaching I do for my clients too. It's not just about what's your profit and loss and no, like how are
Right.
you as a leader and what kind of experience are you delivering to your clients? Because you want to build your business, get raving fans
Yeah.
from clients. So that's what I'm reading right now.
Awesome. Holy crap. Um, you know that I don't know Rhode Island, but let's say that there's a park in Rhode Island that you love
Yep.
to go hang out at or
Okay.
walk around or run to. I don't know. So here's Michael Silva, and he's
Mhm.
in his favorite spot in Rhode Island, whatever that happens to be. Could be a beach too. I don't know. You could be kite surfing,
Okay.
and you're sitting there thinking to yourself, "Oh man, this is you kite surfing, by the way.
I
If
gotcha.
only the world knew this one thing. What would the one thing be that you wish the world knew?"
Wow. I don't know if I was ready for that. The one thing. Can I give you two?
Yeah.
Um, you're not that fucking important. Not you.
And that's the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
And we will never hear from Michael Silva ever again.
Uh,
Michael J. Silva.
.com.
So yeah, no, like as a young male, I had an ego, and I had to realize I had to set that aside in order to really truly connect, like with my wife and my kids and my business. So I was not as important as I thought I was back then.
Great advice.
And then like, don't be afraid. Like, don't live by the ready, aim, fire. Live by the ready, fire, aim. Like, if you want to do something, just do it. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Nothing's that hard. I mean,
Yeah.
rocket science maybe, or Japanese arithmetic might be hard, but like, just do it. Do it. Figure it out. Don't leave a career because you're unhappy with how you're doing it. Change it. Fucking do it your own way, and you fire and then aim. You'll be all right.
Oh man, I love it.
I hope that was worthy of a closing. I'm not sure.
Oh, we're not quite done yet. I got one
Oh
more.
shit.
I
Okay.
got one
All
more
right.
big question for you. That was
Oh man,
just my.
another one.
Yeah, I know. This is like, and
How'd I do?
maybe it's the same answer.
All right.
But let me set this up for you. So there's these people, we call them rebels in waiting. And these are the rebels that are like, I'm about to do a thing, or I really want to do a thing. And this could be the answer you just gave me. So if it is, that's fine. But maybe there's another piece of advice you could give. And let me focus it this way. There's a physical therapist who is about to leave corporate America job, about to
Mhm.
go out on their own to do their own thing, or are thinking about it. What advice would you give to that rebel? Like, give me some meat on that That bacon bone.
that, that dried out aging bacon bone. Yeah, so some of it would be the ready, fire, aim. Just make the change,
Yeah.
and do not be afraid to ask for help. No, very few people in life have gotten successful without someone in their back pocket, someone behind them, someone behind the scenes. Um, that kind of ties into you're not that important. Like, you know, like serve a bigger purpose, get help doing it, create what you want to create. You'll figure it out as you go along. And I am so thankful for being pushed to do that years ago, and it helped my life immensely. Um, and I'd love to see people do that. I think fear stops people before they even fail.
Right.
Like they don't even get a chance to fail. They don't even start. Right.
Oh,
What was the quote from Wayne Gretzky? You don't miss any of the shots you didn't take, or something like that. Could have just
you
butchered it.
miss all the shots you didn't take.
There's something like that. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that's. I guess I hope that worked.
Yeah, dude, that's outstanding. That is so
Good.
great. Michael, this has been so much fun, and I can't wait to come to Rhode Island and eat
I'm
stuffies
serious too.
and-
I'm not just saying that because we're like
No,
recording a podcast. Like,
dude,
we'll have fun.
yeah, and I've never been.
You got to come.
Right, I gotta come. And
Yeah.
you're kind of by Canada-ish.
Yeah. I can get to Canada in a probably 6 hour drive.
That's not so bad. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
it depends what part of Canada though.
yeah. Well, I got people in Halifax. You know that, like Nova Scotia.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's kind of close by.
Yeah, I heard that's beautiful motorcycle riding out there.
Yeah, the Cabot Trail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a guy from Rhode Island who rode his motorcycle. Rhode Island, jumped on ferries. I don't know how he did it up to Halifax. And he would do that in like one weekend by himself. That was his little getaway.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think that's possible. I don't know. You could tell me, but that's what he told me he did.
I don't know. I'll check it out.
All right.
Michael, this has been so much fun. Thanks so much for being on the show. You kick ass, and thanks for all that you're doing to help healthcare.
Well, thanks for having me. This has been a great time. Hopefully we'll do it again.
Yeah. Hey, it's me again. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you're an artist, entrepreneur, or business owner who believes your brand can be more than it is, head over to brandjitsu.com and join the list to get your copy of my book, Brand Jitsu, Move Your Brand from Meh to Memorable. I've been your host, Michael Dargie, and this has been the RebelRebel Podcast. It's a podcast for creative rebels and entrepreneurs all over the world. And hey, if you're a rebel or you know a rebel, why don't you head on over to the RebelRebelPodcast.com and fill out our guest request form. Share or subscribe wherever you get your favorite podcasts. And thanks so much for listening. Until next time.